In the quiet suburb of Maple Grove, where autumn leaves danced through well-kept yards, the Henderson family faced their greatest challenge yet. 6-month-old Emily, with her bright blue eyes and golden wisps of hair, had been diagnosed with infant paralysis following complications during birth. Her parents, Sarah and James Henderson, had transformed their modest 2-story home into a haven of hope and healing. Yet, despite their unwavering love, their hearts carried the weight of uncertainty. Sarah, a former pediatric nurse, had left her job to provide round-the-clock care for Emily. Each day was a marathon of therapy sessions, doctor's appointments, and emotional battles. James, working double shifts at the local hardware store, masked his exhaustion with a determined smile. But even their gentle optimism sometimes wavered. Emily's sweet smile and her eyes following them around the room were their only moments of reprieve. Their neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, had been breeding golden retrievers for over 3 decades. When she heard about Emily's condition, she couldn't shake the feeling that her smallest puppy, Max, might bring light to the Hendersons. Max was the runt of the litter, but his soulful brown eyes seemed to hold wisdom beyond his weeks. Despite his size, his heart was enormous. At first, Sarah and James hesitated. Their lives were already a delicate balance of exhaustion and hope. But when Mrs. Rodriguez insisted, they agreed to meet Max. The day he entered their home, magic unfolded. The tiny golden puppy, barely steady on his paws, walked straight to Emily in her special chair. There was no barking or excitement, just a gentle approach and a soft nose pressed against her hand. Emily, who rarely responded to stimuli, tracked Max's movements with her eyes and let out a soft coo. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. For the first time in months, she saw a spark in her daughter's eyes. That evening, Sarah and James decided to keep Max. Mrs. Rodriguez, her voice trembling with emotion, offered the puppy for free, saying, "Some matches are meant to be." Little did they know how profound her words would become. In the weeks that followed, subtle changes began to ripple through the Henderson household. Max became Emily's constant companion, lying beside her during therapy sessions, his warmth providing comfort during frustrating moments. His gentle presence transformed their home into a place of hope. But it was late one October afternoon when the first miracle occurred. Emily was fussy, her tiny fist clenching as Sarah struggled to engage her in therapy. Max, who had been napping nearby, suddenly perked up. He grabbed a small rainbow-colored rattle in his mouth and placed it just out of Emily's reach. Then, with deliberate care, he pawed at her hand as if encouraging her to reach for it. Sarah froze, her heart pounding. Emily, with great effort, made a jerking motion toward the toy. Tears streamed down Sarah's face as she called for James, her voice trembling. "James, come quickly, you need to see this." James rushed in, his paperwork forgotten. Together they watched in awe as Emily's tiny hand moved again, guided by Max's gentle encouragement. "It's like he knows," James whispered, his voice thick with emotion. That night, Emily slept through the night for the first time, with Max curled up beside her crib, his head resting near her hand. The next morning, "Oh man," they shared the astonishing news with Dr. Thompson, Emily's neurologist. While cautious, the doctor acknowledged the significance of voluntary movement and scheduled an immediate evaluation. During the session, Dr. Thompson observed Max's interaction with Emily with growing amazement. The puppy's intuitive actions mirrored techniques used in professional therapy. "In my 30 years of practice," Dr. Thompson admitted, "I've never seen anything like this. Dogs can sense medical conditions, but this level of therapeutic instinct is extraordinary." Weeks later, the bond between Max and Emily deepened further. One crisp November morning, Sarah was preparing Emily's breakfast when she heard Max barking urgently. Her heart raced as she ran to the living room. Emily was in distress, her face red as she struggled with a piece of her teething ring that had broken off. Max, his paws on the edge of her chair, was using his nose to dislodge the obstruction. Sarah performed the infant Heimlich maneuver she had learned during her nursing days, successfully removing the piece. Tears of relief streamed down her face as she hugged Emily close. Max had saved her life. By early December, Emily achieved another milestone. During a therapy session, Max placed her favorite rattle just out of reach. This time, instead of jerking motions, Emily moved her entire arm in a smooth, deliberate motion. Sarah, filming the session, almost dropped her phone. "James," she called, her voice breaking with emotion, "come here now!" Dr. Thompson arrived within the hour and confirmed what they had dared to hope. Emily was showing signs of neural regeneration in areas once thought permanently damaged. News of Emily and Max's extraordinary bond spread rapidly, inspiring families worldwide. The hospital began studying Max's techniques, developing a protocol for incorporating animal-assisted therapy into pediatric care. Yet, amidst the medical breakthroughs, the most profound change was within the Henderson family. Emily's giggles became a daily symphony, and Max's unwavering devotion transformed their challenges into victories. As the weeks passed, Max's role in Emily's life continued to grow. One snowy evening, as Emily lay in her crib, Max climbed onto a small blanket beside her and refused to leave her side. His gentle snores seemed to reassure her, allowing Emily to sleep peacefully. It was as if Max could sense her emotions and provide exactly what she needed at every moment. The bond between them became an inspiration to the community. Families would often stop Sarah and James during their outings to share how Emily and Max's story had given them hope. As news of their story continued to spread, local businesses and neighbors rallied around the Hendersons. A fundraiser organized by James's co-workers at the hardware store raised enough money to cover Emily's next round of specialized therapy equipment. Mrs. Rodriguez began offering free puppy training sessions for other families interested in animal-assisted therapy, inspired by Max's impact. Max, now a little bigger but just as gentle, seemed to embrace his role as Emily's guardian angel. During one particularly cold winter night, the power went out in the Henderson home. Sarah and James scrambled to keep Emily warm, wrapping her in blankets and moving her crib closer to the fireplace. Max stayed by her side the entire night, his body curled protectively around her, providing much-needed warmth. Sarah watched through tear-filled eyes, whispering to James, "He's more than just a dog. He's her protector." As winter turned to spring, Emily's progress astonished everyone. During a follow-up evaluation, Dr. Thompson noted significant improvements in Emily's motor functions. "Whatever you're doing," she said with a smile, "keep doing it." The hospital began documenting every interaction between Max and Emily, using the data to develop new therapy protocols. Max's instincts became the foundation for a pilot program aimed at pairing therapy dogs with children facing similar challenges. Emily's laughter filled the house more often now, and her ability to grasp toys and reach for objects improved daily. One afternoon, while Sarah was filming Emily's therapy session, Max nudged a block toward her. With a determined look in her bright blue eyes, Emily reached out and stacked it atop another block. The moment was small but monumental, symbolizing the power of persistence, love, and an unbreakable bond. The story of Emily and Max reminds us of the incredible power of love, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a child and her dog. If this tale moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching, and remember, miracles come in all shapes and sizes, sometimes with wagging tails.